Now, if you've missed it already, I want to make sure that you're subscribed. Because if you missed it, that means you're not subscribed. All of our NBA live shows every single week on Friday. That's what we're doing right now on Chat Sports, youtube.com/chatsportstv. NBA is 100% back, and that means so is our daily NBA coverage. Scroll down, hit that subscribe button. This question's coming from our very own Mitchell Renz. Should the 76ers trade Ben Simmons, and what is his best landing spot? That's an excellent question because right now, I mean, if Joel Embiid shows out in the NBA playoffs and in the NBA bubble, Ben Simmons could be on his way out. Now, the only question I have is what is a good team for him? Well, I think the team that needs to trade for him, the team that would make the most sense for him, be the most beneficial, is a team that has shooting. You know what team has shooting? The Golden State Warriors. Now, is it completely overpowered? Yes, 100%. But I do think that would be a very fun team for Ben Simmons to end up on. Now, we do know he's going to miss a few games with that knee subluxation, which is really just a partial dislocation of his kneecap. And if he's gone for a while and the 76ers do better without him, he could be on his way out of Philadelphia. Now let's go to this question from Texie, not even going to try the last name. DeMar DeRozan to the Raptors for Serge Ibaka and Patrick McCaw. I like this trade idea because it gets DeMar DeRozan back to the Raptors. However, the Spurs have no motivation to say yes to this one. If the Spurs are going to trade DeRozan, that means they're going all in on the tank. And Serge Ibaka doesn't exactly scream tank to me. He's a veteran player who can still provide something on the playoff team. And Patrick McCaw, not a very useful player. I think the Spurs say no, but I would love to see DeMar DeRozan back in Toronto. Jonathan yelling at me here in the chat says, what do the Nuggets, let me just read it in the English that he used here. What does the Nuggets got to do to take the next step? Well, I think they're very close to taking that next step. I think they're close enough right now to being a Western Conference Finals team. You got Nikola Jokic. You got Michael Porter Jr. You got Jamal Murray. You got Gary Harris. You got Bol. I think the only thing they need to do right now is just get healthy. I mean, they're not healthy right now in the bubble. They've had some issues with getting all their guys back, especially recovering from COVID-19. So I do think they are there. It's just about those guys getting a little bit more experience and really getting in that next step with the players that they already have. Now, I like Denver a lot, but I don't think they're going to win the West this season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this question our pinned comment on today's video. All you got to do is scroll down and reply. Who do you think is coming out of the West this year in the playoffs? Think it's the Lakers type L? Think it's the Clippers type C? Think it's the Nuggets type N? If you've got a completely opposite, completely different pick, go ahead, shout it out in the comment section. Sports Wiz with, I think that's Luka Doncic with a goat head on his body, says Wall and a draft pick for what? It's tough to say what John Wall's value is right now. He's coming off a torn Achilles. He's coming off another, I think he tore his ACL as well. He's facing all kinds of injuries, but he's getting back to it, and I think he will be 100% healthy next year. So if the Wizards trade John Wall and a draft pick, you better be getting some kind of young superstar back. Now, I don't think they're going to actually be able to get one back, but a guy like, I don't know, a Devin Booker, a franchise changer is what you have to get in return for John Wall and a draft pick. But you're not going to be able to trade John Wall because that contract, one of, if not the worst contract in the NBA. Toxic asks how to build after Chris Paul leaves Oklahoma City. So here's the thing, Toxic. Chris Paul is in Oklahoma City right now, but he's also there for the next 2 years, I believe, with his incredibly large contract. Another pretty bad contract, but now not looking so bad. So really, the Thunder don't have to build after Chris Paul. You've already got your places in peace. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You got Dennis Schroeder. You got Steven Adams. All you do is hand the keys to SGA and say, hey, you're our point guard. Go show us that you can lead us to the playoffs. I think they've already got the pieces there. You just got to draft well with their abundance of draft picks that they have over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, let's move on to this next question from Dylan Riddell. Where do you think Tyrese Maxey and Emmanuel Quickley will go in the draft? Tyrese Maxey is one of my most underrated players in this draft. Defensively, he is a dog. I mean, he does it all on the defensive end, and he's super fast. His jump shot is okay, but it's got room to improve. I think he's going to fall somewhere from the end of the lottery, so 13, 14, as low as 20. That's the thing with this next year's draft, is that the top 3, top 5 are but after that, it's super deep. I mean, when you get into value picks, there are a ton of them, and I think Tyrese Maxey is one of those guys. Emmanuel Quickley, I got to do a little bit more homework on him, but I think he's more of an end of the first round kind of guy, but that just remains to be seen. Now let's go to Miami sports fan asking, should the Heat trade for Bradley Beal or Victor Oladipo? Well, the easier one to trade for is going to be Victor Oladipo. Bradley Beal says he wants to stay in Washington. He's the better player right now. Victor Oladipo is still recovering from injury. But if you're the Heat, that means you're probably giving up a guy like Tyler Hero or Kendrick Nunn. Probably not a Bam Adebayo, but somewhere along that level. I think a combination of a Tyler Hero and then you throw in Derrick Jones Jr., and then you got to have a contract to make the money work. Could get it done, but it's going to be a lot easier said than done to get a guy like Bradley Beal or Oladipo to the Miami Heat. Now, if you are a Miami Heat fan, if you're in Florida, that means you got to be a fan of Disney, right? Well, whether you are or not, you can go get these awesome Disney t-shirts from chatsports.com/Disney. Our friends over at Fanatics are hooking you up with a limited time only on these shirts. The Heat, the Celtics, the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers, literally any team that's in the bubble is going to be available on Fanatics right now just for a limited time. They're shipping for free for a limited time as well, so go get that deal. You're going to be missing out if you don't get it because, like I said, as long as the bubble's here, those shirts are here. Once the bubble's over, the shirts are over. You're not going to be able to get them anymore. Chatsports.com/Disney. Let's go to Snipegang Douglas asks, how far do you think the Sixers can go in the playoffs with and without Ben Simmons? Without Ben Simmons, if they're playing the Boston Celtics in the first round, I do think they're a first-round exit. Right now, as it currently stands, they will play the Boston Celtics. It just remains to be seen if they move up to 5, because right now they sit at 6. If they do have Ben Simmons, I think the 76ers could get past the first round. I think they match up really well with the Boston Celtics. In fact, Joel Embiid is going to beat any big man that the Celtics have. Daniel Tice, Enes Kanter, Robert Williams. They're going to absolutely destroy the Celtics if they can get Simmons healthy. If Simmons isn't there, I think it's a 6-game series and the Celtics take it. But maybe you guys disagree. If the 76ers are without Ben Simmons, if that knee subluxation is as really vital and important as we think it might be, if they don't have him, will they be a first-round exit? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Let me know down in the comment section below. Real easy to find. You just scroll on down. Now let's go to Sports Wiz. Can Luka carry the Mavs in the bubble? And, right now, he is. He is. He and Kristaps Porzingis together are the only ones carrying that team because there is no one else that's really doing anything consistently on the team. But they're 1-3, and that's not good. So they have a lot more they're going to need to do. But what matters now is that they're in the playoffs. Can he carry them to the second round of the playoffs? That's Sports Wiz's next question for me, and I sure hope so. If it's not if it's not the Los Angeles Clippers, I think they might be able to do it. But if the Mavs are playing the Clippers in the first round, it's going to be ugly, and I don't think they're going to get past them in the first round. If you want to keep up with all of our Mavs coverage and all the playoff coverage that we're going to have here coming up just next week, go to youtube.com/allthingsMavs. Hit that subscribe button. Get us to 5,000 subscribers on our Mavs only channel. Thanks for the question, Sports Wiz. Now let's go to Niri. Ask the 3 best trades that'll help the Lakers. That is a loaded question because they could do so many things. Producer Brett's just trying to stump me here, but I will not be stumped. I'll probably put a video on the trades they can make on our Lakers channel. You go to youtube.com/LakersTV and check that out. However, free agency is going to be fun for the Lakers. They're not able to make a lot of moves because they're pretty capped out right now, but they can chase guys like a Rodney Hood, like a guy that can help them with shooting like a Justin Holiday. I don't think they're going to make any crazy trades, but maybe they try to dump a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Danny Green and flip them for some other younger role player. Now, speaking of the Los Angeles Lakers, many consider them the favorites to come out of the Western Conference. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Who do you think the NBA champions are going to be this year, though? Is it going to be the Lakers? Type L. Think it's going to be the Bucks? Type B. Think it's the Los Angeles Clippers? Type C. Maybe you think it's someone totally different. Shout it out in the comment section and in the live chat. So far, as I'm watching here on our live show and watching those live chats roll through, I'm only seeing the Lakers, and I see someone that says the Mavs. I don't know about that, but I love the bold pick. Now let's go to why not with the question. Kira Lewis Jr. is a big sleeper in this class. Yes, Kira Lewis Jr. of Alabama, huge sleeper. I've seen him mocked as low as 28 in this first round. That's ridiculous. I think he's a top 20, maybe top 25 pick. I really think he's the fastest player in the draft. He's got long arms. He's got great defensive ability. His jump shot needs a little bit of work, but he reminds me a little bit of a Colin Sexton. Not just because he came out of Alabama, but he plays a very similar style of basketball. I think Kira Lewis Jr. is going to be a very good backup or maybe starting point guard in the NBA for a long time coming. Let's go to Haneef here. How far do you think the Thunders, plural, can go in the playoffs, considering that before this season, analysts were saying that they had a very low percentage to go to the playoffs? Yeah, I remember seeing a graphic that had them at like 0.9% chance to make the playoffs. Now here they are, about to jump into the 4th seed. I'll admit it right now. I thought they were going to tank it out. I thought they were going to get rid of Chris Paul. I didn't think they'd be this good. And here they are. I think they can upset a team in the first round. Now, do I think it's going to happen? No, I'm afraid they might get bounced out by the Houston Rockets, but I think they match up well with so many different teams because they've got a great combination of youth and age. You look at Chris Paul, you look at Steven Adams, you look at Dennis Schroeder. 3 veterans that are still young enough to play with these guys. Then you look at guys like SGA, Darius Bazley, Lugan Stort. They also got Danilo Gallinari. This is a fun team. This is a team that everyone overlooked, and they're out to prove people wrong. And I'm admitting it right here live on the show. I was wrong, Oklahoma City. I was wrong, Billy Donovan. I was wrong, Chris Paul. They still got it, and I think they could upset a team in the first round, but I don't think they're going to get past the second round if they have to play a team like the Clippers or the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's keep it rolling here with our live chat on NBA Now by Chat Sports. Antonio Delgado. Will the Golden State Warriors go for Giannis Antetokounmpo next year? Will they go for Giannis? Yes, but so will the Atlanta Hawks, the Boston Celtics, the Charlotte Hornets, and every other team in the NBA. Are they going to land Giannis? No, I don't think they will. I don't think Giannis will seriously consider the Golden State Warriors. I want him to stay put in Milwaukee. I want him to be able to build a legacy there and be Milwaukee's version of Dirk Nowitzki, Milwaukee's version of Tim Duncan, Milwaukee's version of Kobe Bryant. Build a legacy right where you are. Don't join a super team like the Golden State Warriors. Let's go to Daniel with the last question on this live Q&A. He says, do the Heat go for Giannis in 2021, or do they trade for a max player beforehand to ensure that they can get someone? That's a good question, and I do think the Miami Heat are a lot more of a viable option for Giannis than the Golden State Warriors. However, I think they're going to trade for a max player. I think they are going to try to trade for a Victor Oladipo. I think they're going to try to go out and get one more star that they can pair alongside Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler and Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. But that just remains to be seen. I like this Heat team a lot. I think Giannis, that's a good destination for him. But I think their better option is to go out and trade for another guard like Victor Oladipo. Now, if you missed your question on this live Q&A, the best place to reach me and the best place to get all of my answers is by following me on Twitter, at Jimmy_Crowther on Twitter. Real easy. It's right down, where is it? This right here? It's right down below me, at Jimmy_Crowther. Go give me a follow on Twitter. DM me. My DMs are wide open. I will DM you back about anything related to the NBA. Don't DM me about anything else. But you can also tweet at me. You can do whatever you want. I'll throw your retweet. Take a screenshot of this video and tell me that you're watching. You can do it right now. There you go. Did you get your screenshot? If not, rewind and then go ahead and tweet it out on Twitter at Jimmy_Crowther.